What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Monday. Why do I have this up? Y'all can't even see me. There we go. There we go. How are y'all doing today? My goodness. Yo, first of all, let me apologize for being a little tardy. The people's dog, aka Kobe. If you've been following on my Twitter, he has come down with something. I don't know what it was, but for the past 2 days, like he first of all, he had an accident on the floor, and I was mad. But then I noticed that it was a little, the waist was a little suspect. It was a little suspect, and I was like, wait a minute. And then later I go downstairs and this dog just like defecates all over the crate. So I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? So shout out to the wife, by the way. Mrs. E-Man is so amazing because she woke up in the middle of the night with me, and we tag team this together. She went to go clean them up. I had to go clean the crate and vomit and all that other stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, well, I gotta babysit. I gotta dog sit again. Like, here we go all over again from earlier on when he was younger. So I'm sleeping downstairs right next to the crate because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hear him this time. I hopefully he gonna let me know, and boom, we gonna beeline up out of there. Nah, it was about 3:30 in the morning. Okay, 3:30, and then I had to like wake up, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, he been real quiet. Only thing that had me wake up was him and the bubble guts. I'm hearing the bubble guts going. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? I flashed my light inside his crate. He done threw up and boo-booed all throughout the crate again. And I'm like, bruh, I was right here. Why didn't you just let me know? Just tell him, bro. You could have say something. Oh, so we had to go through this again. This time the wife took him to the vet. I'm still on cleanup duty and all that. And the docs, man, the vets, shout out to the vets. My goodness. They took care of this. The wife went over there, and the way she was describing the ER over there, she was like, look, this is like a people hospital. Like, the gurneys were flying, the nurses, doctors, everybody was running around. It was a nightmare. It was crazy. But shout out, Kobe is doing well. They gave him some drugs. Shout out to the drugs. And we got him on the clean basic food or whatnot. I don't know what he got into. I don't know what he was doing. But when I tell you that was rough. But I bring this also up because during this moment, and look, I don't know about y'all, but you never really realize how wonderful a partnership is until you got to clean up poop together. Okay. Because I know the whole time I'm sitting here cleaning this up, and I'm like, man, my wife is upstairs cleaning Kobe twice. I'm like, yo, like, I'm so lucky to have that kind of partnership in my life. And then, so while all that is going on, first of all, I couldn't get enough sleep. I got some sleep later on. I know the wife has definitely been on and off with her sleep, but I didn't get a chance to watch this episode for The Last of Us until like literally a couple hours ago. Like, that was I just got done watching it. And I'm watching this and I'm sitting here like, oh my God, this whole episode is about love and a partnership and just all. So of course I started getting into my feels. I'm sitting here thinking about my wife and just cleaning up poop, and then I'm watching this episode of like two people just falling in love, and I'm just like, wow, like, just, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. So I apologize now if I yawn a little bit too much. Forgive you, boy. I'm still still trying to recover. But my goodness, this episode definitely was a lot. It was a lot. So let's go through real quick and give some quick shout outs, and then let's kind of go through the episode and just kind of react to it. Let's see. We got Rim 17 back in the building. Thank you so much. Y'all know what the deal is. Come on now. You already know what it is. Get those likes up. Come on now. Y'all know the routine. Thank you so much to Rims and the fellow Mod Squad. Speaking of Mod Squad, come on through. We got Kristen Pratt in the building. You know what it is as well. Thank you so much, Christian. I appreciate you being here and holding the fort down. I appreciate you. Let's see. Taint Snorkeler. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for being here. My man Eric Shaw is back. I was about to say Eric Snow from the Sixers. Eric Shaw, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Christian, hello. Thank you so much for making it out. I appreciate you. Deborah, what's going on? That's another top supporter, top vet in the building. How you doing, ma'am? Thank you so much for making it out. My man Minister Crush is here. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Another back-to-back vet with Didier. What's going on, sir? Good to see you too. Let's see. Diamond, hello. Good to see you. Thank you so much for making it. Kenny, how's it going? Thank you so much for making it. I really appreciate it. My man Dex of Reason is here. What is going on? How you doing? Pamela, hello. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Callow, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Daniel, what's up? How you doing? The last of Bo is here. Thank you so much for making it out as well. Drizzy, hello. Good to see you. Rhonda, what's up? How are you? Thank you so much for making it out. Boss still seeking a champion. Hello. Tanya, hello. Good to see you too. Another vet in the building with SJ Evans. How you doing? Mod Squad in the building. Treese, what's up? How you doing? T-Ville, how you doing? Of course, we got my main man, Just My Opinion Reviews. Y'all already know the deal with that. Go to my favorite channel list. You go find his channel and subscribe automatically. So that way you can get all the good reviews and reactions, and you might get something a little extra special. You don't know what it is yet. It might be a little small special surprise that you might want to stay tuned. So I'm just saying, you might want to subscribe to the brother if you haven't already. Andrew, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. We got another top vet in the building with my man Derek Gaines. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Ty, hello. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for making it out. Eric, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. There we go. My man CJ is here too. Good to see you. Kano, hello. Good to see you as well. Thank you so much for making it. Dre, what's up? How you doing? Appreciate you all the way across the pond. We got my man Stamina MC. How you doing? Come on now. I'm sitting here talking about partners and love and relationships, and we got the missus in the building. I'm surprised because I really thought she would have been KO'd and just hitting them Z's right about now. But thank you so much. This is the support I'm talking about. And I know mama is tired. Yes, indeed. Trust me, I'm gonna be crashing right after this too. But I'm right there with you, man. Let's see. Do we got anybody else? Krista, hello. Good to see you. Dwight, what's going on? Sim, hello. Who else do we have? I think I saw Shar. Hello, good to see you. Lisa's back. Always a pleasure. DJ, how you doing? And shout out to everybody that is coming out and checking it out with us. So once again, if in case this is your first time watching this for whatever reason, we are going to go react to episode 3 of The Last of Us. We are trying to keep spoilers of the game light and probably avoidable, if anything. So if there's anything major from the games that are going to spoil the future story, please hold off on that. But if there's maybe some interesting details, of like the parallels of this episode versus what happened in the story, I think that's not too terrible. But again, let's try not to spoil the overall story for people. And of course, we're going to spoil this episode. So if you haven't watched, spoiler alert. But anywho, let's kind of get through it. Now, first of all, let me just say that, and I don't know if this is, indicative of the game or not, because I have not played the game, but this episode, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, it did feel kind of filler-ish. It felt like it was a whole detour from the main mission, which is, to get Ellie from point A to point B. It did kind of feel like a filler to focus on Bill and Frank. Now, I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying, I was like, okay, like we're not really progressing. It felt like a pit stop. But Either way, I did think that there was still some quality stuff to take away from the episode. So let's go. What was it? First off, so we begin the episode with Ellie and Joel. Now, of course, as you know from the previous episode, Tess is no longer with us. She was the third companion. But she, bit the bullet, unfortunately. And unfortunately, she's not with us anymore, and they're still feeling it. And we're even at the point where Joel is sharing food from Tess's supplies with Ellie. And I think that that was actually kind of nice because we're finally getting to the point where we're seeing Ellie and Joel kind of connect a little bit more. Now, this could be because of their circumstance, but one way or another, it is nice to see that they're actually bonding because they're living in a screwed up world. And it's kind of like, well, what else are you going to do? Right. But beyond that, I thought it was actually kind of nice that Ellie was able to check Joel kind of quick. When she was like, "Look, I already know the situation is messed up, but I'm gonna let you know. Don't blame me for the choices that you made." And I love that because she reminded Joel that, like, look, I know I'm only here because y'all needed a battery or whatever. But at the end of the day, whatever comes, whatever happens, that ain't my fault. That's on you. And Joel couldn't do nothing but just suck it up and just go with it. And either way, like they did continue to go and bond, and I loved it. And now they had to go to a new store to kind of like just find some supplies that Joel had been hiding all this time. And while they're taking this little pit stop, you also see Ellie reminiscing a little bit about some video games, and I am going to feel some kind of way, that she was going and talking about the Mortal Kombat video game, talking about how old it was. And I mean, I remember, back in my day, I remember when Mortal Kombat first came out. Like, I remember when Mortal Kombat was being treated almost like how NWA or Eminem and rap music was being vilified for all the violence and stuff. I remember the news reports. Oh, Mortal Kombat, they have fatalities and blood, and will it rot our children's mind? Maybe, but we all right. us 90s kids, we all right. Shoot. I mean, finish him. I was fine. I was fine. But anyway, it did bring back some memories to go back to that time when with Mortal Kombat, even though for her this was like an ancient thing. But then of course Ellie also finds this trap, door, or this lower entry point. Looks like to be like the cellar or basement of this supply store. And for one, let me just say, I love the fact that she was actually cautious. She threw something down there. She tried to make sure that weren't no, click clackers or whatever in there, or nothing like that. So she took precautions. Fine. So here's my thing. Don't act like Ellie is smart now and make her dumb later. You see, she took precautions. I don't want to see her doing some dumb stuff later. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Because a lot of times writers or directors will take a shortcut and be like, well, we need this to be scary. So we're going to make the characters dumb. Don't make them dumb now. She knows what a clicker is. She's been around these things. She knows, but I'm just saying, put a feather in this, put a bookmark in this, because I'm gonna be real mad if they make her dumb later on or whatever. But anyway, so as she's going through, she finds some valuable things. Might not be valuable to Joel, but it's definitely valuable to her. Found herself some pads or whatnot, some tampons, and as she's going, she also finds another infected person, and this really tends to like fascinate her. This is something that was very, very curious for her, and it really made her stop and like actually analyze. And it was, listen, I don't know. Again, I don't know if this was in the game, but was Ellie this weird? Was she this weird when it came to the infected people? I mean, she's sitting there playing with the knife and putting it all in his face and everything. And I'm just sitting there like, move. Move. Like, what do you need? What is there that you are so curious about? And you see her, I'm not gonna show it, but she's slicing it up and trying to examine it and stuff like that. And I listen, I know curiosity is one thing, but like there was one point during this scene, I kept thinking that this infected was just going to, I mean, literally, look, the arm was still out. The arm was still out, and she was not that far away. I really thought she was going to get got. Okay. And I know she can't get, infected or whatever. But just like Tess said, you're not immune from getting torn apart. Okay. So I think she was definitely on some weird stuff with this, but whatever. Okay. We're here now. So Joel and Ellie, they go out, and again they're bonding more. And this time, as they're going, Joel actually confirms the whole flower theory, um, about how the infection started. And he was talking about like how, it might have been in the sugar, it might have been in the flour. So no one really knows specifically, but the leading prevailing theory is that this is something that spread through the food supply. Now keep in mind, Ellie was she was in school, but she was under a federal school, so it was the government teaching her this, and the government didn't, for whatever reason, want to tell her this information. So she didn't know the true cause of the infection like that. But and if you notice, Joel did also mention pancake mix. And if you remember in the first episode with his daughter Sarah, she wanted to make him pancakes, but they didn't have any more mix. They keep going, they see remnants of things like an airplane, which fascinates Ellie. And I thought that this was actually kind of cool because, like, the things that fascinate her, Joel is kind of like, man, ain't nobody tripping about that. That's a Spirit airline over there. Don't nobody care about that. Ain't nobody missing that Frontier airline over there. Nobody. Okay. Like the legs, your legs was cramped. You ain't get no peanuts. They charge you $55,000 per carry on. Okay. Nobody missed that little plane over there at all. So it was very funny to see how they had two starkly different perceptions of the same thing. But anyway, let me grab this comment real quick. What do we have? My man Didier, what you got? Teenager equals smart 1 minute, dumb the next. Boy, man, listen, man. Okay, listen. I'm not gonna comment on that because I have a teenager, and you know what? I love her and she's great. But I will say this in the context of movies, yes, yes, yes. That is definitely the case, and it is. Ooh, it gets on my nerves. It gets on my last nerves. Let's see what else. Now, as they're walking, we also see that Joel wanted to take a separate route, and instead they come across this, which is basically like a valley of bones and skeletons of dead people. And we find out that apparently these dead people were actually just regular people. And these were regular people from like almost 10 years ago who the government said they were going to take them to a QZ zone. And unfortunately, they ended up just taking them off to be killed. And that was it. And the reasoning was, hey, dead people can't be infected, and that is definitely, I think, one of the sadder parts of the fall of humanity, that we got to that point where we're not even thinking about how to save the most, but at the end of the day, these type of decisions had to be made. And I think this is one of those things that, like, you kind of look for in these zombie type movies or genre. Like, all right, how bad is humanity gonna get, and how much of humanity are we gonna hold on to? And it was just really crazy. And this was, by the way, great editing here too, because the same clothes, the same everything that you see, we see those actual people, the baby, the mother, and all that, back to back. And I thought that was just really, really good editing right there. But one thing that's also interesting to think about is this was a very interesting moment for Joel, because he was actually trying to protect Ellie from this. I mean, she tries to be tough and all of that, but at the same time, like, Joel is like, look, just because you tough about this here and there or whatever, there's some things you don't need in your mind. There are some things you don't need to see because it's just not worth it. And I really love the fact that Joel, like, actually showed that paternal instinct, that fatherly instinct to be like, nah, you don't need to see this. I'd rather us go cut through the woods than keep going here, because this is some traumatic stuff, not just for me, but probably for you. So I thought that was really cool and a nice little maturation in Joel's character. But this is where we also, during this flashback, this is where we actually start to see and meet our main protagonist of the episode, and I think that's the survivalist Bill. And we see Bill here looking at all these cameras. He's got cameras set up everywhere, and he is looking out for the federal agents who are in his house at this moment, and they're checking out everything. And while they're making a sweep, they go through the basement and they don't find anything. And the reason for that is because, well, Bill is super paranoid and he built a bunker under his basement. And as you can see right in the middle, he had like the trap door right under that cabinet. And as he goes outside, it is empty. Like everyone is gone. The government has taken everyone away or escorted them all away. So all these beautiful, nice homes, all these beautiful, nice residences and all that, it's just free and open. And Bill, I mean, he comes out, he's still kind of paranoid, but the moment he realizes that all of this is open, my man is like, good. He is like, good. This is exactly what I wanted, because I never liked people in the first place. And I have to tell you, I loved Bill. In this moment, this scene, these next month, I loved Bill so much because Bill was me and I was Bill. Bill was like, you know what I'm about to do? My neighbor's boat, mine. This premium gas that costs too much, mine. Home Depot, forget your sales, $5 discount on everything, mine. And then what did he do? He went to the gas company, and turned that sucker on and said, yo, forget your bill. What is it? Mine. Oh, let me get a little wine too, just because the wine is mine. All mine. Oh my goodness. Then my man went to ComEd and turned on his own power generator and got that electricity flowing. I loved every second of this. Bill finally found a way. It only took the fall of humanity, but he finally found a way to stick it to the man. Okay. And I thought it was just great. Y'all notice, by the way, my man he went and got that premium gas too. He didn't get that unleaded. He didn't get the mid-grade. He went for the straight supreme premium gas. I love it, loved it. And then of course my man went and started making the booby traps. Yo, this was everything. I love the booby traps. I love the fact that he was also making his own farm. My man was on his own Thanos trip. I don't know if y'all remember from the beginning of Endgame when Thanos done one. Okay, look, same energy. It's the same energy. When everything was all done and half of the population was gone, Thanos sat there and was like, mission complete. What did Thanos do right after that? Thanos went through his little garden, went ahead, cooked him up something real good, had him a fantastic meal. That is until, of course, the Avengers came and interrupted him rudely, and all that. But it's the same energy, and I was here for it. And y'all, by the way, I ain't gonna lie. And maybe this is just because I just watched this and I haven't eaten dinner yet. But Bill be throwing down. Okay, look at that. Look at them. What is that? The cow. What did he have? Some pork or something? Man, look, that thing looked delicious, perfectly cooked to the right temperature. That looked like medium well, not too bloody. Woo! My goodness, boy, I was salivating. And also notice, no flour and no sugar. Okay, he's just eating right. Oh, was that rabbit? He was eating him some rabbit. That's right. He had rabbit and some pigs, I think, too. Because I saw him cutting up some big old animals in his shed or whatever. But Bill could throw down, and I'm telling you, I was sitting here thinking, like, I mean, can I just get a plate? Like, just y'all could just give me a to-go plate. I don't even have to come inside. Just a to-go plate would have been just fine for me. But anyway, of course, as Bill is chilling, there are still these walking zombies, fungi zombies or whatever. And Bill's watching on his monitor, and as they sitting there dying, he just sitting there, Just delicious. Don't even matter to him because that's his TV. I don't think y'all realize, like, that's his Netflix right there. He got a whole streaming network, and all it is just fun guy people dying, walking into booby traps. Hey, it is what it is. But my man got a whole remote control gate, which is also electrified. Love it. He got the access code and everything. And while he's sitting here chilling, just one day out of nowhere, he finds a man in the hole. And this guy, who we later find out is Frank. Frank is basically, he can't even lie. He's like, man, I don't even have no weapons. Like, I don't know how I just need some help, you know. And Bill, I don't know where Bill got this from. So clearly, maybe he stole it from somebody. Maybe he killed some federal agents or something. Because I'm pretty sure Home Depot was not selling one of these infected radar things. But either way, he finds out that Frank is not infected, and Frank seems harmless enough. So, what else can he do but fix him a fine dinner? Look at it. He even put it on the fine china. He took out his mama's fine china that nobody was supposed to touch. I want y'all to realize nobody was supposed to eat off of this, but what better is a special occasion than the end of the world, especially if you find somebody that, you know, could be good company for you. So he goes ahead and also gives this man, oh, I'm sorry. He also gives him some fine wine, you know, because you can't have a good meal without some fine wine. Lets this man go take a shower. Now, here's something else. I don't know if that was the guest room or not, but I'm like, man, he let him go upstairs to take a shower. I'm just saying that's some peak privilege. I don't know if everybody can go use the upstairs shower. That might have been the guest shower, but my goodness, my man let him use it and the hot water, and he gave him an extra 5 minutes. Okay, Bill. All right, Bill. You putting on the privileges now. You gave him some extra hot water. Woo! Yikes. Okay. So now, of course, look, you know, after a fine meal and some fine wine, Frank is out here feeling this. He's getting on the piano and he is doing the thing. And you could see Bill in the background, like, bro, please stop. You suck. No, I don't like it. So then Frank is like, all right, you do your thing then. You get on here. And Bill starts pouring his heart and soul out on them keys. And my man was, listen, I did not know Nick Offerman could, you know, carry a tune like that. My man was actually, you know, singing a little tune and everything. But you know how it go whenever you playing, whenever anybody starts doing piano and chill, one thing leads to another. And next thing you know, we got these two basically feeling each other. Now, that did not stop Frank from letting Bill know you needs to go take a shower. Okay. Now I'm feeling the piano and chill all day, but I'm gonna need you to go take a shower real fast. So, of course, you know, my man goes upstairs. He uses the good shower, you know, and well, you know, one thing leads to another, as I'm sure many of you have seen. And now we have a couple between Frank and Bill. And here's the thing, it's one thing to show this budding romance in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, right? You have years that have gone by, the world is deteriorating, you have the government taking control of stuff, and you still manage to find this romance. But that's not even like the most endearing thing. The one thing that I thought that was so realistic and so endearing and that I absolutely loved was the fact that they got these dudes immediately arguing. Like, I loved it because this is the closest sign to normality that they can get to, even when they have to agree that the whole government is full of Nazis. Loved that so much because that to me lets me know that their relationship was real. Okay, this was not like some little lovey-dovey thing. No, this is a real relationship and they don't have a problem arguing. And here's the thing, what were they arguing about? Frank wanted to mow the grass. He wanted to clean up a couple of the shops. He wanted to fix some things up. And I love what he said. It was like, you know, it was this is how we show love to things, you know, and stuff like that. And that was really cool because think about it. when you're in this state of depravity of like humanity of the world and stuff like that, like it's sometimes those little things. Like maybe you should clean up a little bit. Maybe you should mow the grass. Maybe you should just live in a space that's actually clean and nice and like it's an expression of yourself and it kind of reminds you that you're not an animal. So I love the fact that they had this push and pull between each other, even if it was for something as little as, yo, we need to clean up. Now here's the thing. Frank was slick. Okay. Frank was sitting here acting like, look, I just want to clean up because, blah, blah, blah. That's the way we love. Meanwhile, Frank really just wanted to do it because he was going to have some company. Okay. Because now all of a sudden he's letting them know, by the way, I was talking to this girl on the radio and I know Frank, Bill was like, excuse me, who, what, another person, what? And then of course we flash forward and we find out that they actually had some dinner guests, and the dinner guests were none other than Joel and Tess. And of course, I love this too, true to form, Bill is not going. Okay. Bill's like, look, I got my finger on the trigger while I'm eating my short rib. Okay. Make that move and it's going to be some problems. Okay. You're not going to make it to the last. You're not going to make it to dessert. Okay. Just play with me if you want to. Okay. So I love the fact that he was ready to go at any moment with a smile on his face at that, you know. And here's the thing. Joel's like, hey man, I feel you. Like I get it. I understand. I'm me, you, same. Okay. Totally understand where you coming from. Matter of fact, if it was the other way around, I'd have my finger on that trigger as well. Okay. Now, by the way, quick moment. We sitting here talking about Tess. Tess is, of course, no longer with us. Can I just say, shout out to the makeup department because let me tell you something. Back when, in the previous episodes, when the zombie was putting the ramen noodles in her mouth or whatever, she didn't look like this. Okay, they took off like a good 10-15 years off of Tess. Okay, like Tess is definitely shout out to the makeup department because when we first saw Tess, she had been through some things. Okay, I'm just saying she been through some real things, but here you could tell like she's still fresh. The world has not worn her down yet, and I absolutely loved just the fact that they were able to show that transition. Now, of course, the thing is, Tess and Joel, they're coming here, they're smugglers, they're traders, they do these things between the camps and stuff. And they wanted to, trade with Bill and Frank, mainly because, they have a lot of stuff as well, especially in this fortified area. But speaking of being fortified, Joel told him, like, hey, look, you got a nice setup here, but it's a little too nice. Like you got a little, that little fence over there. Let me tell you something. That's gonna be good for about a year. After that, that thing's gonna rust up, and people gonna kick that sucker down, and you gonna have problems not just with the zombie folks, but with the raiders, with other human beings. And he was like, "Let me upgrade you. Let me help you." And Bill was like, "Man, whatever, man. Like, first of all, I do this. I do this all the time, man. I'm literally a survivalist. I got this, man. I ain't worried about no raiders." Yeah, well, Joel's like, all right, see you later. So anyway, we find out that they did do a little trading, and one of the things they traded, well, Frank traded a small little gun just for a package of seeds to plant some strawberries. And I mean, again, this is an interesting thing to just kind of see where we've fallen, where we've gotten to, where even a pack of seeds for strawberries, which clearly are like fruit, fresh fruit during this time, is probably a luxury. And to trade away a gun, keep in mind, a gun can keep you safe from the fungi zombies. It can keep you safe from like raiders and other weird people. To give that away for some seeds for food, and those seeds, like you can keep replanting them and you can keep having them. Whew, that was like that's a nice trade, but it's also a nice way to kind of go back and just kind of feel like, oh, this is what it's like to be regular again, to be normal, to have some, to feel human again. So anyway, remember the time Joel told him like he needs to chill out and them Raiders finna come. Yeah, they came. Like, of course they came not too long after that. Now, here's the thing. Bill was also right, because Bill was cooking these suckers up like marshmallows, like nobody's business. All of them was, they was out here doing their thing. Bill was front line and center with his shotgun, with his rifle, taking them out. But unfortunately, my man took a hit to his gut. And this was definitely something that was like very, very shocking for me, because again, I didn't know what was going to happen. I haven't played the game, so I didn't know. I was like, well, that must be the twist that's coming from this show. And it looks like Bill is probably going to bite the bullet, and maybe it's going to be Frank that ends up surviving and meeting Joel and Ellie later on, because we know that Joel and Ellie are going to go meet them. So I was like, dang, man, the whole time I thought Bill was going to make it, but like, oh well. And when he was telling Frank, like, look, man, you got to call Joel. I'm not going to make it. You got to call Joel. Joel's the only one to protect you. And I thought that was so cool, because, again, like, even while this dude is about to die, even while he's about to die, or it looks like he's about to die, he still cares about Frank, to the point where he's like, look, I'm not going to be here to protect you. And it's at that point you start to hear in Bill's voice, like, you're the reason why I'm living. You're the reason why, like, my life is going in the direction it is. Like, you're my primary top priority, So I thought that was really cool that he did that. But then we find out 10 years later, he makes it. And it's all good. He didn't, as you can see right there, 10 years later, they're still growing older together. And, you have both Bill and Frank still living on the compound or whatnot. And this was definitely kind of hurtful, just to see the deterioration of Frank, because it seemed as though, even though Frank is still, I mean, he's still trying to paint, like Frank is still trying to hold on to the things that made them human, the things that made them normal. And while he's holding on to all of this stuff, they're still having dinner, but clearly the dinners have changed. Now, Bill is still throwing down the meals. He's still throwing down some fire looking meals. Look at them vegetables. Look at the fresh vegetables. And is that a biscuit or a dinner roll? My goodness. That looks delicious. But unfortunately, you see that Frank, he's got to drink through a straw. He can only eat soup. Bill has to cut up his food for him. Bill also has to help Frank in bed and all of that. But my goodness, y'all, this was when they dropped the hammer. I was not ready for this. I knew that, clearly Frank was struggling. Bill had some medicine for him, but, in this type of world where, like, even finding pain medication is like, it's like finding drugs, crack or something like that. It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good outlook, but this is when Frank goes ahead and lays the heavy news on Bill. And I gotta say, this definitely hit me hard, because this is fantastic writing and fantastic acting on both ends. Frank gave the news to Bill, and when I tell you, this man said he wanted his request, his final request. First of all, he had to start off by saying, "Do you love me?" Oh, first of all, I know the missus will ask me something like that. She'll be like, "You love me, right?" And I'm like, what do you want? Because I know it's a setup. Because you know the other person loves you. You know I love you. What do you want that you have to reaffirm my love for you? So the second my man Frank asked Bill, you love me, right? I was like, oh hell no, this is about to be something heavy. And I don't like it. And I didn't like it, because this man basically was like, look, we got to go out, go to the boutique, get some clothes, and I'm going to pick them out for you, by the way. We're going to have dinner, because, again, we know Bill can throw down. And then we're going to get married, And right after that, you gonna spike my drink and I'm gonna die in your arms. Oh, oh, what? What? I'm sitting here thinking, like, who even thought about this? Who who even thought about and it's not like it's unrealistic because I'm assuming that Frank has maybe cancer. I'm assuming it. Basically, it's something that even if a doctor were around, they wouldn't have a treatment. He even mentioned that, like, they didn't have treatments for it before. They didn't have a cure before. But to ask somebody you love to take you out, it's when you're taking care of a loved one who is clearly going to be on their way out, they usually refer to that as a burden of love, right? Like you're taking care of that loved one. It's not easy, okay? It is stressful, it is hurtful because one minute you're like, I love this person, I got to help them. The next minute you're also thinking like, yo, but this person could go at any time. Like it's not something you really want to juggle mentally or emotionally, and then for this person to ask you for even more, to say like, yo, I want you to take me out, and that's my last dying wish. Oh, let me tell you something. And then right here, where's the scene at? Right here, Nick Offerman, if he don't win an Emmy for this, I mean, this man needs to be nominated and win just for this. This was the point where he looked away and Frank kept calling him Bill, Bill. That's when you knew he realized, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Oh, my heart. My heart broke right there. Because that's not like what you gonna do. Look at that person and just be like, oh, okay. How many pills you're not gonna do that. It Bill was comfortable being like, yo, I'm just gonna take care of us for the rest of our lives. That was Bill's purpose. Bill was like, I'm good. I'm not doing no more except helping you in anything that you need. And then you put this on the plate. Oh, that was tough. That was tough. But this is this is what they asked for, and they go ahead, they go get married, they get dolled up. Um, Once again, as we know, my man Bill's coming through with the fire plates. Look at that presentation. Oh my God, is that some fava beans or something? Oh, the asparagus too. My goodness, Bill be just throwing down. And of course, my man had to, he spiked the drink, put something in there, and then Frank also realizes that, you know what? You spiked the whole bottle. And this is where Bill confesses that he is going to go out with him. And he can't envision a life without Frank. And the two roll off to go to bed for the final time. And like I said, this was, in my opinion, amazing writing. Fantastic. Um I didn't expect any of this. I kept thinking that I thought one person was going to make it, and then later on we would find out and they would reminisce, and like us, the audience, would at least know what happened. But for this, I was just like, I mean, this was like some Romeo and Juliet type of stuff, like this double suicide, this showcase of um such deep love for one another. It was just amazing. It was amazing. And I mean, I've always said this before, that one of the things that you always want, whether it's movies, whether it's TV, whether it's books, whatever, you want the creators to move you. I don't care if it's fear, I don't care if it's humor, I don't care if it's drama, I don't care if it's comedy, whatever. You want them to move you. When because I've told y'all, movies, TV, all of this stuff, it's art. And at the end of the day, art, the common denominator is always communication between one human to another. And this show communicated exactly what it needed to and wanted to. I got it. I don't know if y'all all got it, but I got it. And I felt every bit of it. And it was well executed, perfectly executed. Um, so I think this is like one of the best scenes in the whole show so far. Let me grab this comment, but like let me know any additional thoughts you might have had during this scene, during their relationship, like anything come up. Let me know what you thought. Let me grab this comment real quick. I got my man Derek Gaines. Let's see. This episode had me thinking they was gonna turn on each other. I was very surprised that they didn't. This show is so different. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I ever thought about them turning on each other, but I could see something like that. Like I could see like in an alternate reality. I mean, this is the type of world where like, it's every person for themselves, at oftentimes. So I could see that, but I'm glad they didn't go that route. I'm glad they didn't go that route. And I'm glad that they took a moment to show a slightly different version because at the end of the day, and we'll get to this part in a second, but I do think that this, like, whenever you see these type of stories, because I know I said it felt like filler, right? Before, but I feel like even though it is filler, it still has a purpose. And part of the purpose, I think, is that their relationship or this little microcosm of love in the midst of like craziness is kind of similar to um other character struggles. I mean, like Joel is a character who, and now I'm not saying him and Ellie or anything like that. I'm just saying like Joel is a character who had love with Tess, right? And like maybe he never got to the point where they could be fully in a committed relationship because he was so scarred. Um Maybe what Bill and Frank had is what Tess and Joel could have had in a different situation. So maybe I'm reaching on that or whatever, but I'm just kind of thinking about like, it's interesting to see these little different pockets of society. So that way, because at the end of the day, we're still trying to understand this world. We're still trying to understand this setting. I mean, we're talking about a government that's literally willing to kill people that are not even infected, and that's a steep contrast to the first episode where we saw them like, yo, we see that they're going to be, I don't know, nice about killing little kids that are infected and putting them down gently. But the fact that they're like also willing to kill regular people that are not infected, mothers and kids and stuff like that. I mean, we're all of these things matter in showing us different parts of the world. But anyway, but thank you for that. I appreciate you. Don't worry about it. You're all good, sir. You're all good. Thank you for that. All right, let's wrap this up now. Now we get to the point where Joel and Ellie finally get to the residence, and as they make their way in, oh wait, let's see. As they make their way in, yes, they go inside the house, and Ellie ends up finding a note, and this was a note left by Bill for Joel. And by the way, this scene right here, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if this was editing or whatnot. But like while Joel was going through the doors and the front door closed on its own, I freaked out. I was sitting there thinking, like, did an infected walk in? Did a raider walk in? Like, y'all just gonna have this door just open and close like that? Like, was that just me? Do y'all remember that scene? Like, it was a scene just real quick. The door just randomly closed out of nowhere. And I was like, what are y'all doing? This is we just got done watching this heartfelt old couple, pull their own version of Up, from that movie, and y'all about to hit us with some more drama? But of course, that ended up going nowhere. And I was like, man, don't set me off like this. Don't do this. Because I was really like legit scared. Like, what just came into the house. Anyway, Joel ends up reading most of the note, and the note hurts. It sucks. I mean, part of the note talks about Bill was basically like, "Look, man, I ain't never even like you, but at the end of the day, I do want you to like protect the things that you love, just like I protected, Frank, and that was like really, really endearing to see him recognize that. And like I said, once again, this is a message for Joel. This is a message where Joel is Tess gave him a similar message where she was like, look, like, just accept the win. Just do something so that way your life has meaning. Do something so protect those you love. Like you couldn't protect Sarah, but at the end of the day, you could protect her. You can do something of value. So I think Bill was kind of echoing a similar thing, which again goes into feeding Joel's character, and I love that for sure. He ends up, and Bill also tells him like, "Yo, all my supplies, go ahead and get them. By the way, I know you're the only one that could get in here with my code because everybody else would have died already. So you go ahead, you can have whatever you need and do your thing." So he goes into the garage, he finds the truck, and luckily, and there was no battery in there until he saw that the battery and the parts to make the batteries were all in the fridge, along with some sulfur and all of that. So this was really, really helpful because this allowed Joel to basically recreate a battery and keep it self-sufficient because over time the batteries would corrode and mess up anyway. Um, and then, of course, they're going through all the supplies and everything. And I mean, as we know, Bill is my man is stocked up like John Wick. Like he's got all the stuff. He got all the guns, all everything. And of course, Joel doesn't want Ellie to have a gun. Which, at this point, I'm like, bruh, it's only two of y'all. Tess ain't around no more. You gonna need somebody to have your six. This might not be a bad time to, pull out a whip, go to the backyard and be like, you look, let me teach you how to shoot. Let me teach you how to hold a gun. Let me show you how to do something because we're going into the world right now and things about to get rough. So Joel over here talking about no gun, no gun, whatever. Anyway, of course, the show wasn't about to let that slide. So Ellie still ends up finding a gun and she goes and hides it in her backpack, which I think we all can kind of assume and agree that this is going to come in handy somewhere down the line. Where, why, how, not exactly sure. But there's definitely going to be a point in time where this gun is going to come in handy for her. So then they go ahead and get in the truck. They are on their way. And as you can see, Ellie is like in heaven. She's never been in a car before. To her, a car is like a rocket ship at this point. And I thought this was actually kind of cool. Like, keep in mind, she's only 14 years old. And, all of this stuff that is going on is still very new to her. So it's really, really cool that they are like showing us this side of her, because this is kind of like the childhood side of her. I mean, she doesn't know these things. She's never been in a plane. She's never been in a car, which is kind of wild because I'm like, but you've seen Fedra. Like Fedra got little trucks and tanks and stuff, don't they? Like, but anyway, I don't know. Whatever. We'll just roll with it. They go ahead and punch in the little code and they out of there and off to the next adventure or whatnot. So but that was pretty much it for this episode. And like I said, I thought that they definitely did some interesting things here, and it was definitely something well worth the watch. Hold on one second. I got from Algae, thank you so much for the $10 cash app. Really, really appreciate you for that. And let me also, I don't know if he's here, but thank you so much for my man Terrence for the $10 cash app for the fam and Kobe. Thank you so much, Kobe. Definitely appreciates that. As that will go to help pay for his ER bill. But thank you so much for that. All right. So we are at the end of we got through the breakdown, we went through everything. This is the part where I need to know from you guys, what did you rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10? How are you rating this? Um, so let me kind of think about it while you guys are answering this. Definitely love the acting. Fantastic performance from Offerman for sure. As Bill and Frank's was good. I like some of the cinematography, not all of it, but it was pretty solid. Um, so good acting, good writing, very good writing. I will say that. Good watchability. I don't know if this would make me want to rewatch, but it was definitely a compelling watch because it kept my interest the whole way through. I think I'm gonna give this a 9. I think I'm gonna give it a 9 just because it actually made me feel. And that's really hard to do. Like to we've seen love stories, we've seen, horror that like to actually make me feel and connect in this world with streaming stuff all around. That's really good. So like this was really quality TV for me. I'm going to give it a 9 mainly for the story and the emotional appeal that I thought was extremely effective. So anyway, um let's see where the people feel though. 8, 7, 8, 10. Okay, 8, 9, 8, 8, 9. Okay, 9.5. Okay, 11.985 pi. You have pi. Okay, we got it. 8, 8, 8, 7.5. Too slow. Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, this was not an action-packed episode, like at all. 10, 8, 9, 8, 10, 8, 9, 9.5. 10 out of 10. Okay, 9, 9. 8.2, 9.5. Mama said it was an 8.5. Okay, 10, excellent. 8, 9, 9.5. 9, okay, okay. We got some more stragglers. There we go. 9, 9.9, 9, 10. Okay, so listen, overall, solid episode, right? Solid episode. So can't be mad at that at all. Well, all right, y'all. I think that is all we have for today. Um, Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. It looks like we will be back. Well, no, you will have to. I will wait and see what I'm gonna do. I might have to do something pre-recorded. I don't know because I will be I have some other things that I'll be doing next week around this time. So I'm gonna try and get y'all a video or something at least by that time. So we will not be going live next Monday. We will be going live on Friday still. But on that Monday, next Monday, I will not be going live. So I'll probably release like a pre-recorded thing for y'all, and we could talk about the episode at that point. So anyway, that's all I got. By the way, stay tuned this Friday. It sounds like, or I'm sorry, tomorrow sounds like DC James Gunn is finally going to release his big announcement, his big slate. So we might be talking about all of that on Friday. I don't know. Depends on how big the news is. Anyway, so you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. We're going to talk on Friday. Unfortunately, I can't go live tomorrow. I was thinking about it, but I got a screener I have to go watch on Tuesday. So it is what it is. But anyway, I will see y'all Friday. Until that time, y'all know what to do. Wash your hands, wash your butts, be cool, have a great week. All right. Peace.